Hello, everybody. Go to live chat there. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the Trucker John live stream show. It's not really a show. I'm just sitting here shooting the shit, I guess we could say. But let's see here. Let's see if I can find anybody. Anybody out there? All right. There we go. Let's go here, all messages. All right. All right, I don't know if anybody's going to come in or not. Just thought I'd go live. Today's Saturday. Was this the 16th already? Here we are, just, 9 days to Christmas. It's going fast before you know it. Oh, that's right. I always like to switch out my glasses, and I always forget to do it beforehand. And then I end up doing it now. Anyhow, these are my live stream glasses, apparently. So yeah, I'm just sitting here, just see if anybody wants to hang out for a little bit. Oh, I noticed my my little thing fell down. My little 1 million miles safe driving thing fell down. Hey, there's WW. Hey, bud. How you doing? Good afternoon. It's afternoon here and it's afternoon there. So we're both in the afternoon hours. I just got up a little while ago. I made myself a breakfast, a nice little breakfast. 1 million. Yeah, and actually, I did over 2 million, I think. In all. You are Johnny Million. Well, there's only one Johnny Million. And it ain't me. Hey, there's Jolie. How you doing, Jolie? Just thought I'd do a Saturday little get-together here. There's Jackie. Hey, Jackie. Thanks for being here. Just thought we'd get together for a little chit-chat. I gotta get my watch hours up. For some reason, it seems like my watch hours never change. It's really kind of weird there. I'm going to ignore that WW comment there. But there's Jackie and then, well, except for this one, he says, "Hey there, Jackie," because that's a little bit nicer. You know. So how y'all doing? I still have a little bit of cough. It seems like the cough gets, less and less every day, but it's still hanging out. It's still hanging around, and it's frustrating as hell. I went out driving last night. I just drove for like 4 hours, and other than the cough, I feel pretty good. This cough is just really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. But it'll go away eventually. Maybe by Christmas it'll go away. Oh boy. I still haven't got any Christmas decorations up. But like I said, I'm not going to do any. I don't want to buy anything because I got a bunch of stuff in storage. And maybe, let's see, what day is it? Saturday? I don't know. Maybe sometime during the week I'll make a run to Lancaster and get the stuff out there. WW says, we have an intervention phone call in half an hour. Friend in my group trying to get her some help. What, is she on drugs or something? Some kind of drug addict? W says, "Whoa! I just realized who I was. Wow! After all these years, you finally figured it out, huh?" WW says, "Everybody knows me, right?" Well, I know you as much as I know you. Uh, you know, so there's that. Do 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 do. I think I heard like an ice cream truck or something. It sounded like it was playing like the theme to The Godfather or something. I don't know. Says WW says Johnny understands not dealing with reality. Her family has given up. Hmm. I was just thinking about drugs in America the other day. I was thinking about like how you know people want to complain about drugs at the border and people being drugged out and all this kind of stuff. And then I was thinking, well, maybe Nancy Reagan wasn't so wrong when she said just say no. But I know it's not that easy. People get addicted. It's about addiction, and I think we need to decriminalize a lot of the drugs and really just focus on the addiction, treating the addiction, and having drug therapy and things of this nature. That should be the emphasis, rather than just prison and locking people up. And then, sure, there are certainly cases where prison is appropriate, especially like big dealers and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people. I just wonder how many people complain about like the drug problem, and talking about like like the illegal drugs. There's sort of like two things, right? There's like the big pharma issues, and then there's like the illegal drug issues. And we're talking about cocaine and heroin and meth and all that kind of stuff, and crack or whatever. Things of this nature. And I wonder how many people, complain about, the influx of those, or how those drugs are coming in and all that kind of stuff. But how many of them are actually doing those drugs too? So to those people, I would say, if you want to stop the drug cartels from becoming trillionaires, and you want to stop, a lot of these problems, the drugs coming in, then stop doing the drugs, But I guess that's kind of really naive, I guess, a way of looking at it, because people get addicted. People do the drugs. There's a lot of depressed people, a lot of people that maybe don't see any future. And they resort to drugs. There's escapism going on there, and then there's that addiction. So that needs to be dealt with. Just looking at the chat here, W is just going on a screed here. They want to have her committed. W says she thinks that she is functioning, but she is not. WW says she was a PhD physician, medical doctor. Wow. WW is smart, but just trying to twist everybody's minds her way. W says trillionaires. I mean, these cartels, they have more money than, probably anybody. Certainly are multi-billionaire, or have multi-billions of dollars running through. I wouldn't be surprised that they get into the trillions, but pretty soon. And I'm talking about the big drug cartels. WW says Illinois licensed dispensary, and I don't drive while using. And I think it's good that pot is becoming legal. I think that that does help eliminate a lot of the black market issue, right? Um, and it can become more regulated and taxed and all that kind of stuff. And I think that, pot is not in the same category as, heroin or coke or whatever, or meth, certainly. Um, WW says Elon Musk. I don't think. What about him? I mean, he's rich. He might become a trillionaire. I don't think he's a drug mover or whatever. Jolie says Reagan's war on drugs only made things 1,000 times worse. His trickle-down economics destroyed the middle class, and getting rid of mental health facilities made the homeless problem much worse. That is all true. It's all true. I need one of those teleprompters like Hal has, because I'm reading the chat. If you notice, I have to go down here to read the chat off my iPad. So I kind of get what Hal's talking about, where he was making fun of, I guess, Glenn Beck or somebody or Jimmy Dore maybe, for always being looking like off camera. So yeah, I need one of those teleprompters and I can just read the chat, because the iPhone chat, I mean it just pops up for like a second and it disappears. That's why I always go to the iPad to read the chat. So I know it looks funny me going down here, but I mean, I guess I could try to. But still, I'm going to be looking down. Like if I put the iPad more like in front of the iPhone, that might help. I don't know. But still, I'm going to be, I guess instead of going in this, I'm going to be going like this. Might be a little bit better. I don't know. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, but that's all true, Jolie. Absolutely, 100%. But if it was that easy as like just say no, but still, it does make you think, like, about how we do bring a lot of these problems on ourselves. Worst president ever. You know what? I think so. I mean, I always try to. I kind of, and this is kind of a bad thing to keep doing, over and over again, like thinking about the past, because we can't change the past. We can just learn from it, right? But I mean, I go back to 1963 when Kennedy was assassinated, and if that hadn't happened, how everything would be different. And I mean, going forward from there. Or if you just go by if Nixon was pretty horrible president. But then Reagan, yeah, I mean, he set off this whole thing of the trickle down and, demonizing unions and the whole trickle down thing. And so he's what set things in motion that got us to Trump. Because I really think, Trump is the worst president ever. But if it hadn't been for Reagan, if Jimmy Carter had won, which he should have, but Reagan cheated, by making deals with Iran and all that shit. Then we would have never had Trump, Let's see, where was I at here? WW says Jimmy Dore is the best at what he does. W says if he is reading, and he is so sincere about it. W says he reads for the highest bidder and never really tries that hard to understand what he is talking about. Yeah, he's totally mailing it in. He just he'll see maybe a headline that interests him, and I think that's about as far as he actually goes before he even starts reading the shit. WW says Nixon was my grandpa's best friend. Well, that's kind of sad. WW says don't tell, and then W says Les Aaron's house whip, not exactly my grandpa. Okay. Alrighty then. but we've just had a succession of Republican presidents. I mean, if you think, from Nixon, okay, and then what's his face, Ford, he was an absolute clown. And then Reagan, I mean, you talk about clowns. And then fucking, Bush Senior. And then we got W, who was a complete jackass. I mean, it's just gone down, down, down. And then Trump, who's a con man and a rapist and just a habitual serial liar. Now he's a traitor. Not just that he's a con man, but he's a fucking traitor. He does not give a fuck about democracy. He doesn't give a fuck about this country. He stole secret documents and he gave them to fucking Vladimir Putin. I am convinced of it. He gave shit to Putin. He gave shit to other people, to the fucking Arabs or whatever, Saudis. This man is a fucking traitor. And in the old days, they would take him out and they would shoot him. And I think he still is deserving of that. He's deserving of a traitor's punishment. He's an absolute traitor. And for these people these jackaloons, as the major would say, right? Just to follow him and idolize him and worship him, it's disgusting. It is so fucking disgusting to see. And I guess the only thing I can take, maybe take to heart or whatever, is that I think that his little group there is shrinking, his little base. Hopefully people are peeling away and finally getting tired of his shit, or seeing what a fraud he is, or they've crossed some line that that they're not going to cross. Maybe it is the documents and giving to our enemies, basically. There's got to be some place where people go, okay, that's it. I'm out. I don't know. WW says, my little sister was the baby in the photos when Nixon kissed her. Really? Wait, what? Wait, let me read that again. My little sister was the baby in the photos when Nixon kissed her. So, your little sister is in photos with Nixon? W, 1960. Wow. WW says, they were just people, the Nixons, and Uncle Les. Yeah, Nixon was pretty fucked up people, though. He was a fucked up dude. He was paranoid, delusional, alcoholic, you name it. WW says DR. Don't know what that means. WW says, the line somewhere. Jolie says, my daughter's just sent me her YouTube music rap for the year. Her most listened to artist was John Denver. Wow. That's kind of amazing that like a younger person is listening to John Denver so much. That was from the freaking 70s and 80s, right? That's cool. She said, I don't even know what to say for myself. She's so funny. Well, Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. W says, Bloomington Pentagraph, picked by the AP. Wow, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, if I was going to be in a picture with the president, I would hope it would be, Obama or Biden or even Clinton. But I guess if I had, to be in a picture that was going to be, sort of, famous or whatever, I guess, I don't know. I now that I think about it, if you're a baby, that's different because you're just a baby and you don't know. But let's say if I was like my age or even my 20s or 30s and I was in some picture with Reagan or something. Yeah, I know, she was a baby. Or even Trump. I would hope that I would be going like, fuck you or something, I hope it wouldn't be like I'm shaking his hand or something. Or somehow, or just looking like I'm a supporter. I would hope that I would be like, look at this dick or something like that. I'm with the dick, you know. I'm with Dick Nixon. But yeah, I mean, I know she's just a baby, so, but that'd be cool, I guess. WW says Dick was so sincere. Really, you would like him if you met him. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I seriously. Maybe in 1960, maybe he wasn't quite as horrible as he was later when he won in '68 and then won re-election in '72, and which I thought was just about a 12-year-old boy who had watched the Watergate, who was watching Watergate and all that shit, could not for the life of me understand how he got reelected, and I couldn't understand how everyone was sick and tired of the Vietnam War, and how could they fucking reelect that motherfucker? But I mean, I guess the Dems didn't put up a good enough candidate, so that was a Mondale or somebody. Who the fuck was it? I forget now, but I don't know. WW says just like Jimmy Dore. I guess I'm sensing some sarcasm, maybe. I don't know, because I don't think Jimmy Dore is sincere. Charmer. I don't know. I never found Nixon to be charming. My memories of him are just being this sort of sweaty, nervous, weird fucker who didn't, to me, ever seem like he was a Californian, even though I think he was born and raised in California. He did not seem like a Californian to me. But I guess that's when you grow up behind the Orange Curtain in California, which is the Orange Curtain is like all Republican, area. Maybe that's how you turn out. You turn out not looking like a Californian or acting like a Californian. Even Reagan. Well, Reagan was from the Midwest, but he lived in California and was governor of California. But he's a transplant, so I guess that's different. W says, and boys have beards. Live with it. I am. Look at me. I'm getting kind of beardy. I haven't shaved in a while. Humphrey was 68. And I really believe that if RFK hadn't been assassinated, he would have won the nomination, and he would have beat Nixon. That's why RFK was eliminated. And I've always just found it hugely coincidental that Nixon was running against JFK in 1960, right? And then JFK ends up getting assassinated. And then in 68, when Nixon decides to run again, and he's running against JFK's brother, then RFK ends up getting assassinated. I mean, there is a Nixon connection. That's the Nixon connection as far as we can see. Now, I'm not saying Nixon had it, put a hit on him or whatever, but the connection is that he was running against both of the brothers, and they both ended up getting assassinated. But I've always thought there's something more to there or something. I don't know, but it's just sad and unfortunate. And if RFK had won the nomination, we would have had an RFK presidency, I believe. Julie said, Jimmy Dore just grosses me out all the way around, everything about him. Yeah, he's an asshole. He's just an asshole, He's like if you saw him and you were in a bar or you were in some thing and you just saw him and you would just go, this guy's an asshole. I'm not going to hang out with him. He's not someone you want to hang out with, He's just a smarmy little dick. He's one of those fucking dicks, you're just like, where you're just sort of like fuck you. You would just totally dismiss him. If you saw him in real life, you'd probably be like, get the fuck out of here with your shit. Fuck you, Jimmy Dore, you motherfucker. That's what you would do if you saw him in real life. You would just bing, Jimmy Dore. So W says Jimmy Dore shaves constantly and dresses in little boy shirts. Old moms control the world and love some Jimmy Dore. Well, he wears, I guess, really fancy French cuffs or something. I don't know. He thinks it's fancy. I guess when you got millions of dollars, you can wear fancy shirts with French cuffs. If I had millions of dollars, I would just be wearing trucker T-shirts. But I would have like 1,000,000 of them. Instead, I only have like 2. Jackie said, Jolie, me too? Oh, about Jimmy Dore, yeah. WW says, don't shoot me, bro. No, it's don't tase me, bro. Remember that one? Remember when, was it John Kerry or somebody was campaigning and they tased that dude? He's like, don't tase me, bro. W says, okay, Jimmy Dore, I like you better than anybody else here, but don't just assume that I want to take you home. Yeah, don't assume that, Jimmy. He probably does. He probably like, scans the room and he's like, yeah, that bitch wants to take me home, I bet. Freedom of speech? I kind of said that like there was a question mark. There was no question mark. It's actually all caps, so I guess it's like, freedom of speech! Whoops, I hope my neighbors didn't hear that. They're going to be like, what the fuck is he going on in there? WW says, speech for free, money for nothing. No, it's chicks for free, money for nothing, I think, right? Get your chicks for free. That's what it's all about. Every guy wants to be a rock star because of, for the pussy and for the money and the fame, right? WW says they all want to take you home or they want you to take them home. I get that. I get that a lot. When I go out, I'm just fighting people off. They all want to. They either want me to take them home or they want me to take them home, and it's just a big thing. And it's like, I don't know who to choose. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want anybody to feel left out. Lots of orgies actually end up happening because I just can't decide. WW says they all. Oh yeah, I read that one. WW says they knew you had a car. You don't have to be a star. They just need a ride. Why am I coughing? Why? Witchy woman. You're a witchy woman. Ooh, 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 ooh. I can't hit the high notes because I guess I got this thing going on with my cough. So no high notes out of me today. Sorry. I'll lower my register a little bit there. Gonna lower that register. So I guess I could lower the camera and then it would be a little bit more eye level. I wonder if I should do that. Let's see if I did this. I don't know. I'm still looking down. W says, you haven't held far too much diesel. That's probably true. That is probably the truest thing you've said all day, WW. At least since this live stream started in this chat. That's probably the most accurate thing that you've said. Other than that your sister was in that picture. I mean, that's accurate. I mean, if that happened, that would be accurate. But this here that's right on. That's spot on. I think I have inhaled diesel fumes, not the actual diesel, but the fumes. I suppose. I would with one caveat. I would say that's more of the fumes. WW says my favorite right now is Mach E 2025. Your favorite EV or just every car in general, automobile, or just your favorite EV? I am kind of growing, or I'm not growing, but the Mach E has been kind of growing on me. Because at first, I didn't like it because it didn't look like a Mustang. I mean, there was a couple little things, and they tried to make it look like a Mustang in the grill and maybe the taillights or something. But I'm just like, it doesn't look like a Mustang. But the more I've seen them, the more I've kind of grown on them. They've kind of grown on me. I haven't grown on them. And where I think they're kind of cool looking. And I think, I think that's a possibility. Things are going to change a lot. It's not going to just be Teslas in 10 years from now. It's going to be every manufacturer is going to have a whole line of EVs, and fossil gas powered cars are going to be really phased out. But I mean, right now the best one is Tesla, in my opinion. And I haven't driven all of them, so what the fuck do I know? But in 10 years from now, I mean, who knows? Tesla might be the worst or fifth on the list or whatever, as far as styling, looks, efficiency, comfortableness, ease of use, ease of charging, um, affordability. Not only affordability in the price of the vehicle, but affordability in the charging and all that kind of stuff. All those things are going to go in, and they're going to keep improving and improving. And in 10 years from now, it's going to be a whole different landscape. That's what I tell people, because when I pick up people in my car, in my EV, some people say, I just don't, I'm not ready for an EV. I just don't trust EVs. All that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, that's fine. We're just still in the very infancy stages of this EV stuff. But 10 years from now, it's going to be a whole different ballgame. And if you want to wait 5 or 6 or 8 years before you get one, that's fine, because it's going to be, the technology is going to be that much more evolved and better. It's just going to keep getting better and better and better. So it's pretty good right now, at least for Teslas. It's pretty good right now. But 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, it's going to be like a million times better. So if you want to, there's no real rush to get into an EV, I don't think. If you want to wait 5 years, 10 years, I think that's fine. So WW says by then they should figure out the grid and how to schedule a charge along the road. Yeah, they're going to figure all that shit out. The infrastructure is going to be, so much better. WW says, I wish they would call it a Cougar. Yeah, a Cougar. I was thinking that too, like, because it is sort of SUV looking, and they could have went with, like a Cougar, that's like a Mercury product, right? Lincoln Mercury has a Cougar. And on Ford, they had the Maverick. And then they brought this little pickup truck back, and they call it a Maverick. And if you remember back in the day, the Maverick was just like a car. It was almost like, I wouldn't say muscle car, because they had like 6-cylinder engines. But it was that, that body style, more of just a sedan or whatever. And now they brought that back as a pickup truck, which I think is kind of weird. But they could have, instead of calling it, but they wanted the Mustang. They wanted to use the Mustang label to, it's like PR. It's like a PR move, W says, nobody else understands. Okay. WW says, I can afford an S-Plaid, but along with that, they need to include priority charging. What is priority charging? I don't get what's priority charging. WW says 20 minutes should not take 10 hours. No, it should not. 20 minutes should not take 10 hours. I have no idea what the figure you're talking about, but yeah, 20 minutes should be 20 minutes. WW says uniform charging stations, 2030 for sure. But Ford, GM, Tesla will all work together by 2025. They're going to be working together in 2024. Tesla's already opened up their charging system to, I think, Ford and GM and even Rivian, which is another EV company. WW says, and I think it's all, they did that this year, but I guess it's not really being implemented until 2024 maybe. WW says, I drove a V6 Maverick. It had some pickup. Yeah, they were nice little cars. It was sort of like, you had the Pinto, and then you had the Maverick, and then I guess the Mustang after that or whatever. Man, wow. But, and then for the SUVs, they had the Explorer, and they had the Expedition, and then they had the Excursion, which was a huge one. Maybe the Mustang Mach-E could have been like along those lines of naming, like the I don't know what you call it. So they had Explorer Expedition Excursion. What would be in that? Like exposition. I don't know. But I think that they are. I've heard good things about them. People who've bought them have really giving them pretty good reviews. Those Mach-E's. WW says, in dreams, we all imagine that everything went exactly as planned. Not my dreams. My dreams are fucked up. I've had a dream. What was it? I dreamt something weird last night. What was it? Oh, here. I had watched the first three episodes of Reacher. I don't know if you've ever watched Reacher, but it's about this dude who's like this big, humongous dude, and he's like ex-military, and he goes around kind of kicking people's asses, but like to help people out, and shit like that. And I had this dream, so I watched 3 episodes of Reacher. I had this dream that Reacher and me, I guess, I don't know if the rest of the team was in the car, I forget, but we were in this car, and in the dream, it was like we were being chased by bad guys or something, and it all seemed normal. It all seemed like there was nothing wrong, right? We're just going through this chase, there's bullets, and we're shooting guns, and then he sort of like just reaches out and puts a hook on I guess it was a car in front of us. He just like put a hook on it, some kind of hook with a chain, and it made the car wreck, and then we were able to kill the bad guys or whatever. And in the dream, it all seemed perfectly normal. It was all like seemed real. It seemed like nothing wrong here, nothing to see here. That's just normal shit. But then when I woke up and I was thinking about the dream, I was like, wait a minute. How did we're driving in the car, and the other car is like 30 feet in front of us. And how did he get the hook on the bumper of the car? That doesn't make sense. Like, none of it made sense. Once I woke up and I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, that was stupid. That was a stupid fucking dream. Nothing. But during the dream, I'm like in the dream and everything's going cool. Everything seems just logical, and there was not once did I go, hey, how did he do that? You're just in the dream, just doing the thing. But when I woke up, I was like, wait a minute, that couldn't happen. What a stupid, unrealistic dream. So I was kind of upset about my dream because it was totally unrealistic. But WW says, get a ticket for going 100 that I fucking forgot about. The roads were long and straight and went on forever. So yeah, that says you can just go 100. Why, WW says, Reacher! And then WW says, that was Aquaman on Young Superman. Oh, I never watched either one of those shows, so I don't know. WW says, laughing out loud. WW says, imaginary. WW says, the actor, also in a college-age frat series. Can't remember his name. I think it was, I've seen it. Is it Richie? Adam Ritchie or something like that? I don't know. I remember the credits, but I don't remember. Jack Reacher. WW said, yes. Yep, Jack Reacher. Jack's always a good name. My dad's name was Jack. Well, his name was John, but they called him Jack. And my grandfather, they called him Jack also. But for some reason, they called me John or Johnny when I was little. And my son, we just call him John. And Johnny when he was little. WW says, wanted to see how fast she could go. Well, she can go at least 100, I guess. What car was that? It was going 100. Was it the Maverick? No. WW says, if I crashed and died, nobody would have known, nor cared. I could lay there forever. WW says, Johnny 2 million miles. There you go. Johnny 2 million. Oh, jeez. But anyhow, I thought Reacher's a good show. I like it. W says, Maverick for speed. Oh, yeah, the need for speed. Yeah, that makes sense. I've just got on my TV on I guess it's the Inspiration Channel or something, I don't know. But they play a lot of Westerns. I like these old Westerns. And they're playing one now. I think it might be High Chaparral. I don't know. I'm not sure what came on, but they had a guest star by Anthony Zerbe. You guys remember Anthony Zerbe? he was in a lot of shit back in the day. Just trying to see what show this is. I missed the opening credit where it had the show name. Trying to see if I recognize any of these guys on here. They're playing some weird game with a coin where they roll it. Not recognizing any of the people in here, so I don't know what show this is. Oh, that's a young Josh Brolin, I think. Was this did they do a show called the? Oh yeah, because there's a young one of the whatchamacallit brothers. This must be a Young Riders show. Was it Young Riders or Cowboys or something? But Josh Brolin's in it, and what's Alec? What's that dude that did used to do Trump, and then he shot that camera lady? Well, I think it's one of his younger brothers is in this. They all have long hair, like they're hippies. But this is set like in the 1880s probably. And there's a black guy, a black cowboy, which did exist. They had lots of black cowboys. So I just don't know if they worked well with the white cowboys, like in this show. It looks like they're getting along fondly. And I guess they're transporting a tiger. I wonder what year this is. Like the 80s or something? I didn't know Anthony Zerbe was still alive whenever this came out. Anyhow, I shouldn't be watching the TV, I guess. WW says, first gear, second gear, third gear. Careful of the clutch when easing into 4. WW says, I was young once. Weren't we all? And WW says, but I didn't know at the time just how young I really was. Very interesting. WW says I was strong and godly, but I didn't know at the time just how ungodly I was. Oh man, I hate coughing. I'm so sick of coughing. I wish it would go away. I wish it would stop. So anyhow, what else is going on today? Today's Saturday. There was actually some football games today. I don't think I watched any of them. Well, I know I didn't watch any of them. But I think they had some games today. Usually I like to watch football, but today I just woke up kind of late and I was listening to Hal, and then I just got up and made breakfast. WW says, I pray for you every day. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Never hurts to get a prayer for you. Can't hurt. So, oh yeah, here's what I could do. I could hit the guide button. Figure out what this show is. Oh yeah, the Young Riders. It's called the Young Riders. So I don't know when that came out. I'm thinking it must have been the 80s or something. Maybe. I don't know. But, so yeah, I just been hanging out here at the old apartment. Made myself some fried eggs and toast and bacon. Yesterday I went back to Lolo's. I don't know if you saw that video on Lolo's. But I got there after 11. So they have breakfast, but apparently it only goes up to 11. But then they have an all-day breakfast menu. But it's not as breakfasty as the regular breakfast menu. So I went ahead and tried their biscuits and gravy, and it was all right. I'm not really a big biscuits and gravy guy, but I thought I would try it because it looked good and everything, and the guy said it was really good. But it was kind of an unusual gravy, different than most. It wasn't like I guess it was a sausage gravy maybe, but it was, I don't know, it just was different. I mean, it just came with that and potatoes, and I got two fried eggs. I'd like to get there during their regular breakfast because they had one where you can get pancakes and stuff. And I wanted to try their pancakes. So maybe I'll go back, try to get there earlier next time. But it's a cool place. It's a pretty cool place, Lolo's. Kind of like it. It's always busy there. I was there, and it was so busy. I had to sit at the bar, apparently. Um, but that's what I did yesterday. Today I just made my own breakfast. Now on this Young Writers, they're talking to a nun, of all things. WW says, I fry sausage and divide into little cups. Wait, and divide it into little cups. Freeze it. You fry the sausage? Are these links or are they patties? And then you just freeze them for later? You're like saving them for later, and then you can just like, do you just microwave it or do you just throw it in a pan to heat it up? Inquiring minds want to know. You know? Inquiring minds want to know. WW says, I make gravy with flour and milk. Yeah, that's kind of how you do it. You use flour and milk, and you can put a little bit of like sausage in there, or little bits of sausage and stuff. Sausage, extra spicy. Oh, you like that spicy sausage, huh? I like mine just kind of mildly spicy, I guess. Although I did try at Lolo's, they had some hot sauce. They put it in these little cups. And for the chicken, when I had the chicken and waffles a few nights ago, and that was, I just sort of would kind of dip some of the chicken in there. Instead of pouring it all over the chicken, I would just sort of like dip it in there, just to get a little taste of it. It was actually, that was pretty good. And I usually don't like to have, something real hot because it can just sort of destroy your taste buds. That's like if I go to Wingstop, I don't like usually I go there with my kids or something, and we'll get it where you can get like, so many of this, you can get all these different flavors. We usually get like, I don't know, wasn't there like a lemon one or something? And there's like, most of them are kind of mild, but then they'll always get one of like the hottest one that there is, just because I guess you just got to do it. You just got to have some of those. And so I'll eat a couple of those, but they're so hot that it becomes unenjoyable because it's almost like you can't taste anything then because your tongue is so inflamed, So I don't really like the super hot, but usually, the medium, some things around like the medium I can handle. Toby says milk, flour, a little salt, and this is where you are going wrong. I don't make my own gravy, so I'm just telling you. I know my mom would make gravy, and she was perfect. And I know she used flour and milk, but it was called sausage gravy. I think there was sausage in it because we would have sausage. It was for breakfast. If you had sausage for breakfast, then you'd make a little sausage gravy. But it came out very white and milky, Debbie says, but not in your colon. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Whatever, Dr. WW. WW says, the hot sausage turns the gravy red. No. I don't know about the hot sausage, but I'm just talking about regular breakfast sausage. You kind of cook it in the sausage grease that you'd already cooked up your sausage in. I mean, you drain some of the grease. You don't want a whole lot of grease, and then you keep some of that grease, and there'll be maybe some little pieces of sausage in there, and then you add the flour and the milk. And all I know is that my mom made the best gravy in the world, so it really does. Why would I lie? Well, I don't know. I said that the hot sauce. I don't know about the hot sausage. We just said I don't know what kind of sausage you're using. I'm just talking about regular old breakfast sausage. I'm not talking about hot sausage. Nobody says, no, you cooked the sausage and drained it weeks ago. No, I didn't. No, no, it's that day. This is all the same day. Okay, you cook the sausage that day for breakfast, and then you make some sausage gravy that day. It's not weeks later bullshit. WW says to cook for one. I'm just talking about how my mom cooked. When she could cook me breakfast. I'm not talking about some survivalist thing where you're cooking for to store your food for months in advance or something. Just regular old Jimmy Dean sausage, Anyhow, you do it your way. My mom did it her way. I'd put my mom's gravy up against anybody's in the whole wide world, even fancy chefs. So there. WW says, military, meals ready to eat, delivered daily, meals on wheels, all prepared for you. I have no idea what you're talking about. WW says, I make the best, but it is sort of pink. Yeah, that sounds disgusting. I never had pink sausage gravy for my biscuits. It was always white. Okay? And it had little chunks of sausage in it. That's why it was called sausage gravy, because it had little chunks of sausage in it. Okay? Okay. That's how you do it. That's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be pink or red or anything like that. Anywho, what else is going on besides sausage gravy talk? Sausage gravy talk today brought to you by WW, apparently. Let's see what's going on today. Today's a nice day here in Vegas. It's nice and sunny. I think we're going to get in the 60s. We are about 10 degrees warmer than normal. Thank you, global warming, apparently. Overnight low is only going to be like in the 40s, and usually it's down in the 30s by now. So. Thank you, global warming. My mom is dead, okay, for one thing. WW, so where does your mom get her food? My mom is dead. She's been dead for 7 years now, so she doesn't get her food from anywhere now. WW says, Meals on Wheels is not spicy enough. WW says 43 today. Is that your daytime high, 43? I think we're going to hit 60. I'm looking for, oh yeah, my Weather Channel thing is on the phone. Well, let's see, wait, I have it on here, I think. Yeah. Darn it, I have a smart watch, I guess. It says it's 64 degrees right now. And I guess we're supposed to get a high of 65. So we're almost at our high already. And the low is supposed to be 41. Now, I think I heard a forecast last night. We might be getting some rain on Wednesday. WW says, dead and buried, mine too. They are now future food for worms. WW says, the trumpet shall sound. Yeah, both my parents are dead, long gone dead. My dad died in 2012, my mom in 2016. So it happens. I was just thinking, I guess it was yesterday, I was just thinking about, like, I probably only have, if I'm lucky, you don't know, I could kill over right now. But, I guess statistically, maybe 20 years left on this planet. Maybe if I'm lucky, 30, if I'm lucky, and I say lucky, I'm not sure if that's lucky. I've seen some 90-year-olds, and that look like death warmed over. I don't know. Why would I want to live to be 93? I don't know. If I'm a healthy, spry 93, yeah. But if I'm like, just praying for death, then who needs that, right? But I'm just thinking, if you live to be 83 or 85, that's probably about it. So I'm probably on my last 20 or so years on this planet, WW says, don't think about their state down there. They show you the skeletons of sainted popes and vestibules of St. Paul's Cathedral. I don't even think about it, so I don't care. But anyhow, like I said, so probably these might be like around the last 20 or so years I'll be on this planet. What am I going to do with those 20 years, man? What am I going to do? That's why I've been thinking about retiring to some place where my money will go a lot further. So I can just, have a little fun before I go, or at least not, just be a little more, I guess, carefree or whatever. I don't know. W says the 60s is the new 40, and then I've heard, you always hear those expressions, and it's kind of bullshit, because I remember when I was 40, and I would take being 40 over 60 any day of the week. Let's just put it that way. I mean, at 40, I was still able to run. I can't even run now. At 40, I was running. I was doing at 41, I guess, maybe it was 40 and a half or something. I was filming Planet of the Apes in an ape suit, and doing basically wind sprints in an ape suit over and over again. It reminded me a lot of being back in football. And I wasn't running as fast as I had ran in my football days, but still I was out there running, and because they would do these scenes over and over and over again, where there was like these fight scenes, and where we we're rushing towards the humans or something. And we did that over and over and over and over again. I actually lost about 30 pounds during that shoot, working on that movie. And so it was great. And I would love to be back at that age, at 40, 41. So believe me, 60 is not the new 40. Or else I'd be out running wind sprints in an ape suit. WW says, you can go as deep as you want. They are buried. They keep trying to save St. Peter, but everybody wants a piece. Okay. WW says, you never met Randall Huber. No, I never did. I don't know. I have no idea who that is. Should I care? Should I have met this person? W says, blue eyes, bad on a green screen. Okay. Good thing I got green eyes. Are green eyes bad on a blue screen? On a green screen? Because stuntman, Randall Huber. Maybe I met him or maybe I saw him and didn't know what his name was. There were a lot of stunt guys on Planet of the Apes. WW says, good friend, worked stunts in the movies. Well, I was a background extra. I was never a stunt man, so. But on Planet of the Apes, we did work with a lot of stunt people, and we did have some of our extras get bumped up to being part of the stunt crew, but I didn't. I never got bumped up, so. Which would have been nice because it paid. They were saying these guys that went from being background extras would just make like minimum wage, basically. And we did have bumps, so it was more than. Did bump us up. We did get various bumps, costume bumps, and dust blowing on our face bump. Everything you get like a bump, right? A little bump in pay. But these guys, there was about, I think, 5 or 6 guys that got bumped up into the stunt crew to do some little bit extra, more close up things of running and kind of fighting and stuff like that, and jumping or whatever. And they said their base pay, like whatever our base pay was, it was probably like 150 a day or whatever. They went from that up to like 648 a day. And I was like, damn, I wish I would have, because I didn't even, it's like I didn't even know that they were bumping people up. Maybe I would have tried to stand closer to the stunt coordinator. That was Charlie. I can't remember Charlie's last name, but if you look at him, physically, he's like the same size as Michael J. Fox, because he's the stunt double for Michael J. Fox in a lot of the, I think, Back to the Future movies and stuff. And then he became a stunt coordinator. But anyhow, so it would have been nice. It would have been nice to get bumped up as a stunt. I'm not sure the exact title. They weren't really like stuntmen, but they were bumped up to stunts and make 648 a day. That's the base. That doesn't count overtime or golden hour time or anything like that, or any of the other bumps that you get. They might have been making $700 or $800 a day, So that would have been nice money. WW says exact same size as Leslie Nielsen. Did he double for Nielsen? WW says more money involved than most of us can imagine. Hey, there's AJ. X1. Trucker John, how are you doing? I'm currently on 395. All right. I'm doing good. How you doing? So you're in California, going up 395. Are you going north or south? Or I guess 395 goes up into Oregon and even Washington. So I guess you might not be in California. But it's probably a nice day driving up 395. WW says anyway he has Parkinson's and lives on a sort of hellish paradise. He keeps telling me he's okay. Yeah, Parkinson's, that's a bitch. Jolie says hi, AJ. Yeah, I used to drive that 395, going up from California up to like Reno. Some pretty drives up there, going through the mountains and everything. Have they got snow yet up there in Mammoth? Headed to Riverside from Idaho. Oh, you're going south, huh? Have they got any snow on the roads yet, or is it all pretty clear? Since I haven't been driving, I don't really know all the road conditions anymore. But some of I know that 385 could get, pretty hairy. I got stuck one time right by, just north of Mammoth, up by June Lake Loop, loop there. And I remember it started snowing, and then there was that one steep grade right past that June Lake Loop, and they had that closed. They wouldn't even let you go through chains. And so I remember a bunch of us drivers, we parked. There's like that little it was like a gas station convenience store thing there, and there's sort of like a little there's a little, I don't know what you call it, but where you can park on the side of the road there. It kind of goes out, and then we ended up, then the snowplow, so like overnight, everyone's in their truck sleeping or whatever. And at some point, the snowplows came through and they plowed the road. But, when they do that, they send all the snow off to the sides, and we all got trapped. We couldn't get out. There was like a big berm of snow, like 6 feet high of snow or something. And so there we are, we're all trapped. And we couldn't get out. There was no way, we couldn't back out because they had plowed behind us. There was no way forward. We were just trapped. And I remember finally, I think we were there maybe a day or something, and the roads had been clearing up and everything, but we were still trapped. And then there was just some guy who I think lived around there, and he had a kind of like a little bulldozer or something that had like a blade, big blade on it, and he actually was able to make an opening for us so we could get out of there. was really nice of him. I think I paid. We all gave him some money. I think I gave him like $50. I think everyone gave him like, you know, just to show their appreciation for getting us out of there, 40 or $50. And there was like, I think it was 3 or 4 of us that were like stuck in that area. WW says, I'm just not even going to read what WW says. Jackie says, hi, AJ. AJ says, I might lose you due to poor connection. Yeah, you're up there going down some of those areas goes in and out. You might lose the connection because I would try to listen to sometimes streaming like you're doing now, or even like if you have like satellite radio and stuff like that, it could be kind of spotty. WW says Oompa Loompa. W says pull off. W says rest area, no facilities. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them have just little porta potties, you know. WW says I wish I did not understand my dear Johnny. Plow. WW showered with him, Riches. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. WW says ins and outs. Are you okay, WW? You're sounding kind of disjointed in your thought processes here. Anyhow, so yeah, be careful on that 395. Hopefully the roads are clear and you can get down to Riverside, get that load down there. No snow on 395. Yeah, it's been kind of we've been kind of dry here, but they will be getting some snow, probably at least in the next few weeks here, maybe. I know we're supposed to be getting rain here in Vegas on Wednesday, so maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a system coming through, and so, I don't know. WW says, good, I'm just thinking about tomorrow. Okay. Alrighty. You think about tomorrow. It will soon be here. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. It'll soon be here. Johnny, don't stop. Yeah, I just drive. And I just piss in a bottle. No. I would stop. Okay, so AJ, you're hauling. You're pulling a dry van, right? I don't think you weren't in a reefer or a flatbed. You're in a dry van, I think. Don't dry. WW. Yeah, I drove that route though quite a bit from Idaho, coming out of any of those areas in Idaho and then taking the highway down, all the way down. AJ says, I'm not driving while texting, don't worry. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's important. Gotta keep your eyes on the road. WW says, gotta stay sober enough to Uber, right? I am trying hard not to out you. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. W. If you're trying to insinuate something, then you're barking up the wrong tree. Reefer. Oh, AJ's got the reefer. So what are you hauling? You hauling beef? You hauling just a variety of things that need to be refrigerated? WW says, gotta make mommy some money. Okay, you're, I'm about ready to put you on a timeout because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Uh, Saying people are lying and shit like that. So you're about ready to get on a timeout because I'm not gonna put up with that shit. And I don't know what you're talking about. Do I have to put you on a timeout? Oh, Holland Milk. All right. Went up to one of them dairies up there, huh? Is that one that's like in Caldwell? WWE said, "How are you staying alive, Trucker John?" I'm breathing. Hey, there's Bill Deacon. Oh boy, what did I walk into? I don't know, Bill, but thanks for being here. Thanks for stopping by. AJ, I'm Teams W. Yeah, WW. When you team, you got another driver driving, and the other driver could be awake texting and things of this nature. Jackie says hi, Bill, and Bill says hi, Jackie. So what are you up to, Bill? Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for stopping by. We're just shooting the shit, and WW, he's just saying some stuff that comes off kind of, almost non sequitur ish in a way. He's in his own little, world. Jolie says hi, Bill Deacon. WW says Trucker John. Oh wait, Trucker John. Don't you need to make some money? A, that's none of your business, and B, don't we all? Okay. Bill Deacon says hi, you Jolie. WW says awaken, my lovers awaken. You know what? I'm not even going to read your posts for a while because they don't make sense to me. WW says look out and see. Oh, I just read it. I just said I wasn't going to read it, and then there I am reading it again. Maybe I'm just going to read it to myself. Bill Dickens says I'm enjoying a weekend off for once and watching these games. Yeah, I forgot that they had Saturday games today, and I haven't watched any. I'm pretty sure the Rams are playing tomorrow against Washington. So I'll for sure be watching that, or trying to watch it, at least on, because I don't have NFL package. I should have bought it, because it's like $179, and then during Black Friday, for like a 4 or 5 days, they had a half price deal, or something like that. I could have got it for like $79. Oh, and I think if you include what you call it, Red Zone, I think it went to $99. I should have done it, and then I didn't do it, and I wish I would have done it now, because that way I could always get the Rams no matter what. But now it's like if they're not carrying in the game, the only way I can really see it is on NFL Red Zone, which I do have on my. I just have that like on my iPad here, and I can watch. So I can listen to the game, like to the radio broadcast, and then on Red Zone, whenever they're in the Red Zone, I can see those plays. But I wish I would have got that half off deal that they had going. That would have, because now I just don't want to. I don't want to pay 100. I think it's $179. That's without the Red Zone, I think. And so if you want to add Red Zone, it's either an extra $10 or $20. And I really like the Red Zone. But anyhow, I didn't do it. I kind of hate paying full price now when the season is more than half over, And when the season started, I don't think I had even moved in here yet. And I didn't want to. I don't know. I didn't know exactly where it was going to be, and I didn't want to start it, all that kind of stuff. WW says darkest of all days, cough it off. Okay. I think WW might be high. WW might need an intervention. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, so who played today, Bill? Was it just 3 games? Like I think they just had a morning game, an afternoon game, and they're going to have a night game. Tonight, I think Detroit's playing somebody. I forget. It's not like a full slate. I think they only do 3 games, right? Or am I wrong? And I really can't check it now because I got everything playing on here. Building says, okay, here we go, Indy and Pittsburgh. Hey, there's Kimchi. Hi, beautiful genius libs. Hey, John, Bill, gorgeous Joey. Hey, Kimchi, thanks for dropping by. We're just talking about NFL games and Wes's non sequiturs, basically. WW says half an hour after intervention and nobody called. So I guess the intervention didn't happen, huh? Hey, so Kimchi, what you up to? Everything copacetic out there in your part of the world? We're just shooting the shit. It's just a Saturday. Apparently Wes wants me to go to work. He thinks I need to go to work or something. I will be going to work later on, but it's only 1:38. There's no rush. Bill Deacon says the last game is Detroit and someone. Yeah, I know Detroit's playing tonight. I forget who they're playing. And so what? The game now is what? Pittsburgh? What'd you say up there? Oh, Indy and Pittsburgh. So that must be the 1 o'clock game or whatever. Here, 1 o'clock. Who was the earlier game? Was it Buffalo and somebody or? Oh, for some reason Siri came on. The last game is Detroit. Oh, wait, W says, okay, staying on the line. Diving. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, good luck, Wes, in all of your endeavors. I wish you luck. For some reason, Siri is still trying to communicate with me. Bengals, Vikings. That was the early game. Who won? I'm going to say Bengals, although the Vikings, or I guess we're home, but they last week beat the Raiders 3-0. What a pathetic game! I didn't watch that game, but God, that must have been a horrible game. A 3-0 game, and then the Raiders turn right around and throw up 63 points. Put up 60. They didn't throw them up. They put up 63 points against the Chargers. And then the next day, the coach got fired and the GM. It would deservedly so, I think. Kimchi says chillaxin on my heating pad. Partied hard last night. Took a muscle relaxer. That was the party, the muscle relaxer. Oh, I just heard some weird noise. Bill Deacon says Bengals won in overtime, 27-24. Sounds like an exciting game. I guess that backup quarterback has been doing pretty good for the Bengals. I say Bengal. I hate it when people say Bengal because it's not BANG. It is BENG, right? It's Bengals, the Bengals. But I hear like reporters and like sideline reporters that people that get paid to talk for a living call it Bengals. It's not Bengals. But what do I know? To me, Greenwich Village looks like Greenwich Village. I don't know how do you get Greenwich out of Greenwich? There's all kinds of shit like that. I don't understand pronunciations. How people mangle pronunciations or whatever. But that's just me. It's like, I could go on and on. I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it at that. you know, certain words are pronounced really weird, and it doesn't make sense to me. Some of the pronunciations. So let's see, how long have I been going here? Hour and a half, almost. No, 79 minutes. We need to get my watch times up, folks. We need to do that. So one way you can do that is by sitting in here with me as we shoot the shit. Another way is you can go back. I have 890 videos posted. Just start watching them. Some of them are pretty funny. Some of them are a lot better than what's going on right now. Some of them, if you like trucking videos, if AJ, if you're still listening, I have a lot of old trucker videos. I think I have a playlist that says like trucker videos or something, and that go back way back when before I went gray. I had dark mustache and beard, and I talk about trucking stuff, and so you can check that out. I've got videos about my background extra, being a background extra. I've got videos about just about, I don't know, Vegas, I guess. All kinds. There's 890 of them. Just go start checking them out and let's get those watch hours up. Because I think I still need to do like almost 700. It's like 600 and something more. I can get to 4,000, and then we can start doing more stuff on the channel. Apparently. But I should probably, you know what? That's what I should have had. Instead of having this old Western, I should have had the game on here. Let's see. Now, see, with these glasses, it's hard for me to read. And I can't remember. What channel is the game on now? I gotta find the local local channel here. Let's see here. Is there any games on? Let's see. College football. I got college football. College football on ABC. See, usually the way they would do it in the NFL in the old days is they would not play any games on Saturdays, so they wouldn't interrupt the college games. And then they started going where like college would be kind of done, like after November. All their seasons and everything would be done, and they would just start doing bowl games, and usually that wasn't until like around Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that. So then they would do some Saturday games since there were no college games. But now there are. So it's just NFL Network. See, I don't have NFL Network on here. I have it on my iPad though. I'm using the iPad to read the chat. I don't have it on my on my TV because I got this Fire Stick TV or whatever, and I don't think I mean the NFL package, whatever, NFL Network. I gotta pay for. Yeah, see, it's not on. Oh well. I have Paramount Plus, which has Thursday Night Football. So I'll be able to watch the Rams. On that one, Rams are playing Thursday night. So they're going to play Sunday, and then they have a quick turnaround play Thursday. On I'll be able to watch that game because I have Paramount Plus. But like I said, I didn't get, for some reason, I can't. I have the NFL Network on my iPad and iPhone, and I'm able to watch whatever selected game that they have on there. And I haven't been able to figure out how to get that on my TV. And I know there's a way, right? But for some reason, I can't do it. It hasn't been able to get it up on the TV there, which kind of sucks. But anyway, I'll figure that out later. AJ says, did you drive for 20 years commercial? Well, I drove pretty much, yeah, commercial. I was a commercial driver, CDL, but I was basically, a company driver everywhere I went, all the way until 2015. That's when I bought my truck. Well, I leased it, and then I refinanced it and bought it. So all the way up until 2015, and it was April. I think it was actually April 15th, which is like tax day. I think it was April 15th, 2015, when I took, when I took my truck, when I got my truck, when I picked up my truck, and so from then on, I was an owner op, or I was a lease. I was an independent contractor, lease operator. And then I bought my truck, and then I owned it free and clear. So I was an owner op, but I was still under a contract though. I was still contracting with Schneider. I didn't run under my own authority, which I could have done, but I liked the setup of. I've been used, because previous to that I had been a company driver with Schneider for 5 years. I think it was 2010. I think it was January of 2010 and all the way until that April of 2015. That I had been a company driver with them, and then I went over and became an independent contractor with lease operator, and so from that point on, I was like I say, more of an owner op type of deal. Just trying to find something on here. Oh, here we go. Did you guys let me turn that down. Yeah. Did you guys see my picture I put of myself? It's just like this AI thing where it just puts your face on a body on apparently a very skinny fit body. I posted that on my community page. I thought it was kind of funny. It just reminded me of like the shit that Trump does when he puts his face or his head on Rocky Balboa or Rambo or something. So I was like, well, if Trump could do it, I could do it too. Which is not really a good thing to live by. It's like if Trump can give secret documents to the Russians, then so can I. Well, no, I mean, you shouldn't be doing that. If Trump can be a traitor, then so can I. No, 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 no. So I shouldn't really go down that path of if Trump can do it, I could do it. You don't want to be down that path. Anywho, I just wondering if you guys saw that. I thought it was kind of funny. Oh man. Good thing I got some water here. Hey, AJ, you ever pick up Crystal Geyser down there in Alancha? Off the 395? I picked up a lot of that back in the day. Not so much when I was a Schneider, but before that I used to work for a local company in Lancaster called Hunter and Hunter. I drove for them for a few years, and they did a lot of pickups there in Launcha. You pick up water, and those are heavy loads, pretty fucking heavy. Of course, if you're in a reefer, I don't know. Like, I mean, you can pick up dry loads too. So I don't know, but I don't know if you picked up the water. But man, those were some heavy loads. We used to go up there, pick them up, and take them into a lot of Southern California places. That was a lot more. When I was with Hunter and Hunter, it was a lot more considered local. Yeah, but sometimes I would go out. There were a few runs where I would go out into like New Mexico or Texas, and even up into Idaho and Washington and stuff like that. But it wasn't so much. It certainly wasn't like all lower 48. It was just more like 11 Western, and even that, it was even probably. You know, not really all 11, right? But yeah, I picked up lots of Crystal Geyser. And if you've ever gone to Trader Joe's, they have their water. It's called like Mountain Geyser or Mountain Vista or Mountain Spring water. Just look at the label. If it says it's Alancha on it or something like that, that's Crystal Geyser. AJ says, not water, just milk and meat. I picked up a lot of those meat loads too, like in Dodge City and out there in Kansas. A lot of those Cargill and there's really basically only like two or three kind of big companies, Cargill and what's the other ones? I forget now, but I picked up some of those meat loads, and those are some heavy loads too. And and that's that. You want to talk about fresh meat? That's fresh meat. It's like you go in, you get in line, and you can see on one side of the factory the big feed lot, and it's like they're going in to get butchered, and then you're on the other end getting loaded. So I just in my mind, I just kind of envision this sort of conveyor belt, the cows going in and then the cows coming out, but they're packaged and boxed and everything. But yeah, I picked up a few of those meat loads, those big heavy beef loads, and it's kind of weird. You got like blood draining out of the back of the trailer and stuff. I did reefer about 1 year. That was in about, was it 09? I think. Might have been 09 or 08 or 09. It was just before Schneider. I did a lease with Prime Inc. And that didn't work out very well. I did not like the Prime Inc. because even though you were a lease operator, they treated you just like a company driver where you couldn't pick your own loads. You were dependent on that dispatcher getting you loads, and my dispatcher was an asshole. We had a lot of run-ins. I didn't like the loads he was giving me. It was just it was just not working out. It just didn't work out. And so it was a walk away lease, so which meant you could walk away from it anytime. You weren't locked into it. So I didn't quite last a year. I think it was 10 or 11 months, and then I got out of that lease because I was just like, look, this isn't working out. You guys aren't giving me enough loads to pay for this payment of this truck, and it's just been a hardship. So I just walked away, and I didn't like their setup, and that was the only reason why. And so from that point on, I was really hesitant about ever doing a lease ever again. But then with Schneider, like I'd been with Schneider for 5 years, and I'd kind of looked into the lease program a few times, and I liked how, they had a load board, and it was just you could just access it from your phone, and phones were getting better then because the technology. Maybe in '08 or '09 it wasn't really there yet to have your own load board, but by the time I did mine in 2015, the technology was such that you could get. You could run your entire business off your phone, and so I like that, where you really were your own, captain of your own ship. You decided what loads to get. You would just go on the load board, pick your loads. I didn't have a dispatcher that I had to rely on to send loads to me. So that was really a big difference between what was going on in '09 with Prime, and I don't know how they've changed. Maybe they've adopted or more of a system like what Schneider has. Because I think all the companies now that do leases, I think they all have load boards where the drivers can just pick their own loads. It's probably all kind of universal by now. I don't know. I haven't really checked into it, so I don't know. But that's why in 2015 I was like, okay, I like this. I can have my own truck, and I can be my own boss, and I can pick my own loads, and I'm not dependent on whether I'm getting a good dispatcher who knows what they're doing and all that kind of shit. So, that was kind of the difference. Building says, I watched a few Prime Inc. drivers. They all say their version of load board sucks. It's not a true load board. But that doesn't really surprise me because I really didn't like Prime Inc. I ended up not really liking them, the way they operated. I just didn't. I didn't think they were very driver friendly. I don't know. But hey, some people might love them. That's why, there's different drivers, there's different companies, and you just find your fit, And I like Schneider, and there's probably a lot of people that hate Schneider, or whatever. And a lot of people hate, Swift, and I didn't really like Swift. I started off with Swift. That's where I got my license. And that's I went through Swift, and they sent me to truck driving school for free, and it was about, at the time, I think that truck driving school cost about $3,500 or something like that. So, and I didn't have an extra $3,500 laying around, so Swift sent me to the school. I went to the school. I got them, and the way they do it is, at the end, it's like a 2-week course, and at the end of that, you go to get your CDL. You go to the DMV, and you take your road test, and you get your CDL. And so within 2 weeks, you've got a CDL. But then you're supposed to work for them for 1 year, and that sort of pays back. That's how they figure you're paying back that $3,500 or whatever. And but I remember I didn't even last a year with Swift. Once I got on the road, I didn't like Swift. I thought they were very poorly run, very disorganized, very poor communication with the drivers. And maybe that's the combination of me being kind of new or whatever, and new to trucking in general, and being a new driver. But I just didn't like them. And plus, my kids were really young. And it's easy to say, well, you should have known what you were getting into. You knew you were going to be on the road a lot. But I was on the road a lot. Almost continuously for that. I think it was 10 months or so that I was with Swift. I barely saw my kids. And this is back when they were like So my son was probably just turning like, what was he, like 6 or 7, and my daughter was just 2 years younger than that, like 5 and 4 or whatever. And that's, I really wanted to be with him, especially at that age. So I quit Swift after 10 months, and they never really said anything. Like that I didn't fulfill the year. I think they got everything out of me that they could. So, did building says Trigger John. Other than that, they really love Prime, but it's that way with every company. Yeah, I didn't like Prime. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like my dispatcher, and and they were set up in Missouri. It was Springfield, Missouri. I'm from California. They really didn't have a lot of stuff out in California as far as like operating centers or anything like that. At least Schneider, who they're headquartered in Green Bay, but they got operating centers all over, and they used to have them all over California, and then they left California basically because I believe, I don't think anyone ever said this, but it's because there was a big class action lawsuit that someone had initiated, and it took like 10 years for that thing to finally get adjudicated or whatever, and the lawsuit won, and then Schneider was forced to pay out a bunch of money to all the drivers in California, and then they promptly shut down all their facilities, pretty much. I mean, as far as operating centers, so everything got moved to Phoenix, and that kind of sucked because it was nice there was a nice operating center in Fontana, probably one of the best ones in their whole chain of operating centers. There was a nice one up in French Camp. And then they had some littler ones, like maintenance ones. I think they might have some of those still open. But it kind of sucked that they shut those down in California because I was based out of California, and I went through California a lot. And it was nice to have those there. Then it became inconvenient. Like if you needed work done, you had to go all the way to Phoenix. If you needed work done because a lot of times it was better to get work done through Schneider if you could, rather than going to like some third party thing. So you have to go all the way to fucking Phoenix, and people act like that's just a hop, skip, and a jump or whatever, but it was kind of a hassle. So it was either Phoenix or Salt Lake, and that's kind of a far thing. I wish I would make one. Well, I don't care now because I don't drive, but it would have been nice when I was driving if they had a really nice OC here in Vegas. But all they have is like a dirt lot with a porta potty. Building says, I've always been interested in over-the-road trucking. Had I not become a union electrician, I might have gone trucking. It's just too bad they don't have over-the-road unions. Yeah, I mean, about the only thing that's unionized nowadays is like, I think UPS. And I know for a while, I think it was it Yellow Freight when they merged with Roadway, I think, and I think they might have been union, but then I think they might have lost their union. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's just a handful. And then there are some. It does seem like some of the grocery outlets have their own trucking divisions. I think they might be union, but yeah, it's not like, and those really aren't considered over the road too much. I don't think it's kind of like dedicated, more like the dedicated, but. It's hard to find any good trucking unions. It's really few and far between. I thought maybe Old Dominion or something. Maybe not Old Dominion. What was it? One of those like that might have been union, but like I say, it's just few and far between. AJ says they will keep a tab on you, but will not sue you. For like the trucking school. Yeah, I think they did call me a couple of times. It said that like I owed, since I didn't do the full year, and I just said, well, good luck with that because I'm not paying you. And then I never heard from them again, and that was like almost 20 years ago. So I don't know. I never heard from them again, from Swift. Um, Building says Broncos and Lions tonight. Oh yeah, the Lions are playing the Broncos. That should be a good game. Broncos have been playing well. Um, After that game, they gave up what 70 something points, I think, to Miami. Remember earlier in the year, and they looked. Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" But then they've turned around and they're looking good. They've been winning games, and then of course Detroit is. They were really looking good, and the last few weeks they've kind of stumbled a little bit, but they're still in the running. I think they have 9 wins, right? So that should be a good game. Um, and I like Jared Goff. You know, he was the Ram. My team are the Rams, and he has Super Bowl experience. He got to the Super Bowl, and then they lost to freaking Patriots. Uh, and then with Jared, I don't know what the deal is. Like he looks really, really, really good, plays really, really good, but then he has some little stinkers of games, you know. And with the Rams, it seemed like he was getting like really inconsistent with being good or being bad or whatever. And I think McVay and even the fan base was kind of getting sick of his just like up and downness, you know. They wanted something more consistent, so they were able to get Stafford, and Stafford led them to the Super Bowl. Uh, but so it was good to see, you know, Jared kind of making a comeback this year and playing really well and leading Detroit to a good season. Um, so it was nice to see. So hopefully, you know, we'll see how it goes. You got what, Russell there for the Broncos and Goff there for the Lions. Should be a good game. And see, a building says Broncos have been playing better uh, than I don't know. Lions have been going downhill, so it should be a good one. Yeah, they're sort of, you know, meeting each other at like, you know, some sort of a, or I guess it'd be like that or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, one's going down, one going up. They're kind of meeting in the middle. I guess I'm trying to say. I guess in my own way, I'm trying to say that. Well, that should be a good game. So right now, let's see who'd you say is playing right now. Biggles won earlier, and what was it? Buffalo and the Vikings or something. Oh, Biggles and Vikings played earlier. Oh boy, but yeah, it should be a good game. Oh man, I just feel kind of dry throat or something. Indian Steelers. Any update on the score on that game there, Indy and Steelers? Um, Indy's not really doing so great this year, and the Steelers have been kind of up and down. 6-0 Steelers. Wow. Yeah, they've been an up and down team this year, seems like. So, okay, so we got the update on the football scores. Uh, WW, I think, passed out. We haven't heard from him in a while. AJ's on the road. Be careful out there on the road. Hauling that milk down the riverside. Building says Steelers are second in goal to go. So they're about ready to maybe get a touchdown. Make that 13-0. So they must have just punched it in, huh? Up 13-zip. And we'll see about the extra point. Oh, wait a minute. If that was 7, it would be 13. So apparently, yeah, they must have got the extra point. I need to learn how to add. Yeah, 6 would be 12, and then the extra point 13. All right. So far, they're pitching a shutout. So we'll see how that goes. See how that winds up over there. I would like to go see a game. I wish the Rams played in Vegas. Maybe next year they will. I haven't seen next year's schedule yet. Bill Deacon says that's where the extra point. They missed the first one. Yeah, I was wondering if the first one was two. The one was at 6. If that was 2 field goals or a touchdown with missing the extra point. And that's what it was. They missed the extra point. Which is really weird. Missing an extra point is like missing, like, I don't know, throwing a piece of paper and the garbage pail is like right next to your hand. That's not a very good analogy, probably. But you know what I mean. You know. It's just that it's pretty easy. Even though they did make it a little bit back further than the way it used to be. So I guess it's a little more challenging than it was just a few years ago, where they moved. I don't know. Did they move where you kick from back? I guess an extra 10 yards or something. I'm just looking at my big toe, and I think a month ago or maybe longer, I think I stubbed my toe or I did something. I don't even remember it. I can just vaguely remember that I hurt my toe somehow. And then I remember looking down and see my toe. And you know how like your toe gets all black and blue, like. And this thing has been black and blue. I've got to say for over a month now. This big toe, like right on the toenail part of it, you know. So that's weird. I got that going for me, you know. Black and blue toe, a big bruised toenail. I'm sitting here with, as you could surmise from that, I don't have any socks or shoes on, but I do have shorts and shirts. So don't worry, I'm not naked from the waist down, but my feet are naked right now. I'm tempted to show you, but I don't know. It might be kind of gross. Bill says, correct. They moved back the extra point line a few years back, and it's made things interesting for sure. Yeah, it's made it a little bit more, not such an automatic as was, as was shown by that earlier miss. So yeah, I don't know if WW is doing the intervention now, or if he just passed out, or just got tired of me telling him I was going to put him on timeout. I don't know. But anyhow, so we got who else? Who else is watching? We got 7 watching, and we got 9 thumbs ups. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate the thumbs ups. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, and pretty sure you're all subscribers, but if you're not, make sure you subscribe. And if you hit the share button, you can share it to something, and maybe we'll have more subscribers, which would be nice. And that's how it works. Someday we'll have maybe a little bit better of a format here. We'll actually have something to talk about. Right now, I'm just winging it. Pretty much just winging it, just see what happens. With y'all. Just seeing what happens with y'all. Seeing how you're doing. I can just kind of bounce off of what you guys are doing. Like AJ's driving. He's team driving. So right now he's not driving, but he's on the road delivering a load of milk from Idaho to Riverside. And Bill Deacon's watching football games, And everybody else, they're either lurking or they've passed out. I don't know. Probably listening in the background while doing something much more enjoyable, I guess. But me, I'm just here talking to you guys. I'm going to be going out Uber driving in a little bit later on. It's Saturday. It's a good time to go Uber driving here in Vegas. Although there really isn't a bad day. You can make money here Monday through Sunday. Bill Dickens says, so John, what do you think will happen to Rudy now that he owes 145 million? I hope they take everything he has. Yeah, I know. That's like, it's kind of. I thought it was really interesting that the two. What do you call them? They're not defendants. Rudy was the defendant, but the two people that were suing him, the mother and daughter, they were just asking for I think 24 million, which comes to 48 million, right? And it was like the judge or whoever I guess is the judge like tacked on an extra 100 million just for good measure. I thought that was pretty kind of funny, just to show how important this is, and how how despicable Rudy Giuliani is and what he did, and how he really destroyed these people's lives. And so I don't know if they're ever going to see any money. I'm sure he's doing everything he can to hide money and to get out of it, but uh, you know, whatever's going on, I mean, I think it's a good judgment by the judge, and a decision or whatever, and he's going to be, you know, he's going to be doing so much to try to avoid paying that it's just going to be such a pain in the ass for him. So he deserves every bit of pain in the ass. AJ says top three. I'm not sure what kind of stories. Scary stories, maybe. Top three scary stories. Are you talking about me, like in truck driving? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I had some scary stuff, I guess, but I mean, mainly, I don't know. It seems like I don't remember it until stuff just pops into my head. Building said, I'd love for them to give the two ladies his New York apartment. Yeah, maybe they should do that. Because I guess he's trying to sell it because he's broke and he's trying to raise cash. Maybe they should just, yeah, maybe they should just, if they can do that, just make him turn it over to them. And because otherwise they might not see a dime, you know? And then they could either sell it or keep it, you know? Because it would be kind of cool to have a New York apartment, right? And you would think it would go up in value if they kept it. Or they could just turn around and sell it. Because they might not everyone wants to live in New York, and they might want to just stay in Georgia or go to some other place and take that money. And you could make that go a long way in some other places. So, yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know. I never really heard anybody say that before. But I think that's a good idea, just to have them at least get that, because that might be all they get. Building says, like Glenn Kirshner said, it's one thing to be awarded money, it's another thing to collect. Yeah. Yeah, you can award them all this money. I mean, look at Alex Jones. I've heard that he hasn't paid one dime, even though the judgment was for him to pay close to $1 billion. It was like 850 million or something, and he's done everything in his power to not pay, to hide money and assets, and to get out of it. So hopefully they'll get his ass too, some way, somehow. Yeah, just start, taking over properties or something. Because you got to pay. You can't. It's not right that they, have these judgments awarded to them, and then the person doesn't pay. So hopefully they'll figure something out in the courts, of being able to get something. You know, but that's another slime ball. You know, Alex Jones, a real slimy, despicable, horrible human being. The things he said about those parents that lost their children, their little young children, in such a gruesome way, and then he, you know, slandered them and accused them of faking and lying, and then his sycophants or whatever, you know, started doing just what they did to, you know, what was it, Ruby and her mother or whatever, you know, with the, you know, threatening phone calls and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's so sickening, it's so disgusting, and they don't care. Alex Jones don't care because that's the kind of shit that made him a very rich man, is by doing that kind of shit, getting all these followers and people to buy his dick pills and to buy his fucking, you know, his rapture food or whatever. So they're just despicable, horrible human beings. The Rudy Giuliani's and the Alex Joneses of the world. And we would be really better off without them. So hopefully they can get some kind of, you know, payment out of them or whatever they can get. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess. We shall see. Well, okay, guys, it's been over 2 hours. Oh, it's been 2 hours already. 2 hours and 1 minute and 38 seconds. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'm going to get ready to go to work. I guess I'll go driving a little bit here, and we'll see you on Tuesday. How's that sound? We'll fire up the old YouTube live stream machine on Tuesday, and we'll see you then. There's Jolie putting in that buy me a coffee. Thank you so much, Jolie, for being here and helping me and all that kind of stuff. And thanks Bill and AJ for being here, and Kimchi we had in here, and Jackie, of course, WW, who I think is passed out right now. Bill's gonna go watch some football. Yeah, I might. As soon as I turn this off, I'm putting football on too on my iPad. And I will see you guys in the chat rooms around town where we hang out. You know, all those familiar places that we hang out. Hey, everybody, it's almost Christmas time. Have happy holidays. Have happy New Year's. I'll just be doing these live streams all the way through, probably. Much to the chagrin of probably of Jolie, who just wants to celebrate the holidays and is like, oh, another live stream. Oh my God. But anyhow, we'll see you. We'll see you when we see you. But let's plan on sometime Tuesday. I don't even know what time Tuesday. If it's going to be morning, afternoon, whatever. Just kind of depends on when I wake up, I guess. All right, guys. So see you then. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate you. I do. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you, Jolie, again, for helping me out. And I'll see ya when I see you. Okay, bye-bye.